Hey, Lorenzo
And Nisha.
here. We didn't plan that. That's pretty cool. Alright. Today is going to be an interesting video because there's two of us. We were like talking about what can we talk about for today's video, what will we discuss. And we had so many different ideas, but we thought the one that made the most sense was, I guess, our journey together. Like very much high level overview, like from how we met to then like what happened until we proposed, and then we got married, and before we had kids and after we had kids, and we have to squeeze all of that into like 10 minutes. So or less if we can, and then maybe over time we'll expand on each of those things and put up other videos in the future, because we had so many different ideas on different videos, different things we could talk about.
I mean, it's our life, so.
Yes. We can talk all day long about ourselves, right? So anyway, today is going to be more about us, because as God says, not kind of adverbative, but two become one when they get married. So we're going to talk about Nisha, maybe introduce her from the perspective of us, as opposed to just her, because we are now one. So we are no longer two, we're one.
Then you can speak for me.
Alright, let's do it. So where do we begin? I guess with the story of how we met. And you want to start? I start?
I'll tell you the real raw version. We met in university, and he studied engineering, smart boy, yeah. I was in social sciences, but basically it was just like any other day. I was just walking towards the bus stop to take the bus to go home. I crossed the road, walk across the bus stop, didn't see anything amiss, nothing odd. Sat where I usually sat, behind the bus stop sign, and waited for the bus. And I think I was playing with my phone. Then this foreign-looking guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, my name is Craig. What's your name?"
Doesn't even sound like me.
Well, and I was like,
and by the way, my name is Lorenzo. It's also Craig.
Back then it was like Craig. I was like,
Craig, they're both my name.
Yeah, his name is long enough for him to choose which one fits the situation. But he's like, "Hey, my name is Craig. What's your name?" I was like, "I'm Nisha." And he asked me stuff like, "Are you from Singapore?"
I thought she was from Spain or like Latin America or something. I had no idea.
I had no idea too. So then, we had I thought it was an awkward conversation, and then kind of exchanged numbers, and then there was a bus that came. I can't remember if it was his bus or my bus, but one of us got on and left.
Yeah.
The end.
So that version leaves out certain pieces. Some of it's true. So what actually happened was I was at the bus stop one day, and this girl was quite pretty, walked by, and I was thinking about all the different ways I could pick her up, talk her up, get her number. And while I was thinking of all this stuff, the bus came, she got on it and left. And I missed my chance. So I quickly looked at the time, right? And I was like, okay, same day, same time, next week I'm going to be right here. And I was. So that girl didn't show up, but Nisha did, right? And that's true. But hey, it was God's plan, right? It was God's plan. God used that other girl to put you in my life, all right? It's, you can't blame me, right?
Plan B.
Great. No, you were plan A. God used the other girl who was like, just a tool in the grand scheme of things.
This is what I call like a ninja.
No, I didn't. I don't even remember. Right. But anyway, so Nisha appears, and we get to like she walks past me, but she was making eyes at me the whole way. That's the part she didn't tell the truth about. And then she goes, sits down there. I learned my lesson from the previous week, so I just walk right up to her. I'm like, "Hey, I'm Craig. What's your name?" And I reach my hand out, shake her hand. It's kind of formal for that setting. But anyway, I got her number within like 2 sentences, because I knew if the bus came and she got on it, I'd be kicking myself for a second week in a row. So that's what happened. It wasn't awkward at all. It was just surprising for you.
Well, the thing is that it was weird, because in Singapore, it's not, in my 3 years in university, no one has ever just came up. I mean, I haven't been in that situation in university. Like, no one just goes up to me and say, "Hey, my name is so and so. What's your name?" Or pick me up.
How
I
you
guess
doing?
he was the one doing all the rounds, I guess.
Okay, all right. Let's skip to the next chapter. Okay, so over time, I mean, like in the beginning, we were just attracted to each other. Wasn't very serious. We broke up. We can talk about that in another video. We don't need to dive into that.
Once.
Yeah, we broke up once.
Impressive.
It was, her fault. And then.
No.
Okay, we don't need to go into that. We'll make another video about that. And then we got back together. She wanted to.
No. Not true either.
We'll make another video. Okay. Not the time and place for this. But we I guess got more and more serious after that.
Yeah.
With time, and kind of I think I realized this is the girl I'm going to spend my life with, and so then we got engaged. We'll put the video of how we got engaged in the description. But basically, we went to this really nice island with a bunch of friends, and at that time, everyone was getting engaged to the song "I Think I Want to Marry You" by Bruno Mars. So, following the herd, we played that song, and my friends and I are really good dancers. You'll see in the video below. And so she was surprised by it. We got engaged on my birthday.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool for me because that way it's easy to remember the date.
Yeah, but it also backfired because people forgot it was your birthday.
Well, that's okay, but for the rest of my life, I'm with you, and it's going to help me because I'll always remember this is the day we got engaged.
We never...
Tip for you guys.
We never celebrate our engagement day anyway.
We do, by buying me a cake. So we got engaged about a year and 4 months later. That's when we got married. This was 6 years ago. So now, in fact, earlier in January was our 6-year anniversary.
So we were dating for about 4 years plus, and then engaged for about a year and a half.
And then we got married. And we got married, we got married back in Sri Lanka where my family is.
Yeah.
And we had 200 people at the church. We had 100 people at a garden party. Our wedding planning, we never even went to Sri Lanka. My parents helped with a bunch of things when they asked us if we wanted A or B. We were like, I'll just pick. We were not at all picky, not at all worried about any of those things. We weren't too concerned about those details as long as the wedding went off and the right people were there.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that we cared about. And the budget. And the cool thing was our wedding was so affordable.
Yes.
So affordable. I mean, we'll make a video about it because honestly, people bust so much money on a wedding, and I understand it's like a one-time thing in your life. At least it should be. But they spend so much money on weddings.
Yeah.
I don't think I think we spent less than $1,000 on our wedding. Now I say this because we also got a lot of gifts, cash gifts, and that partially it's because we weren't going to be in Sri Lanka. We had people flying in and stuff, and they knew we couldn't carry physical gifts. So we got a lot of cash gifts, and so we're grateful to all of our wonderful guests and generous givers. But with all of that, I don't think we even spent $1,000.
Yeah. Even without the cash gifts, it wasn't much at all.
Yeah,
it was probably the cost of a wedding dress here.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. That's true. And so even that could be a great tip for when we make that video. We'll talk about how to do a wedding on a budget because I think that experience was still wonderful. There are a couple of things looking back that I would spend on differently, and we can talk about that in the video. But
of course,
nothing major.
Subjective. Some people have their dream wedding in mind.
That's true.
For us, we knew it was just one big party.
You know what? We can talk about this for quite a while. So another video. But yeah, we got married. That was 6 years ago. Our anniversary just passed, our 6th year anniversary, and then we came back to Singapore and we started to build a life together. Get stable financially, get our home. Thank God for a beautiful home. He's blessed us tremendously because where we started and where we are now, thank God. And so along the way, we had that talk about children. And a couple of years ago, Nisha was like, I think, by the time I'm a certain age, I want to have kids. 32 is the number.
I already had a rough life plan in my head. Of course, I mean, to be honest, the life that we have now, it's nothing like what I imagined.
Yeah, it's better.
It's much better. just a lot more happier. I think when I was planning for my life, I didn't factor in happiness. I just wanted normalcy. I mean, I came from a family where I think
Normalcy was not normal.
yeah, I think most families aren't normal.
They have their quirks. Okay.
But like people are talking, oh, divorces, separation is very typical, very normal. So when I was growing up, all I wanted was to get married to someone who's stable, who's loyal, and live in regular housing in Singapore, work, climb the corporate ladder, and and just live a normal, drama-free life. And
I've never been happy with normal.
and in that plan was to maybe have a kid by 32.
So she told me around the time we were 30, she's like, because I was at that point, I'm like, you know what, we're building our life, a kid is gonna get in the way, a kid is too expensive, and you're probably wondering, where's our kid right now? The reason why we're so free today is because little baby Judah, whom we absolutely love, he's the cutest thing ever. Check that out. Check that out. Oh, we love the guy. He's so cute.
We're such geeks.
It's a gift from Grandma and Grandpa.
Yes, I love it.
Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Grandpa. We love you. So Judah is currently with his aunt because we're getting him used to the fact that he may have to spend a couple of nights there when little Isabel comes along, which is probably in about a little over a month.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Not less.
Not less. But also not too long at the
Not
same
too
time,
long.
you know. So
It's
for your sake,
tricky timeline.
the perfect balance. God knows when, He knows the right time. It'll be fine. But yeah, that's why Judah isn't here. And so at that time, I was even thinking, you know what? I can live a wonderful life without ever having a child. Prior to us getting married, we'd always talked about we want to have two. But my mind.
But that was it. Like that was the conversation.
That was
just when I have to,
extent of it.
whenever it happens and all that. But it wasn't a plan as to when. In fact, I guess it was my fault. I didn't share with you about my 32-year-old plan.
But she told me that, and happy wife, happy life. So I was like, oh no, okay,
no,
fine.
It came up at 30. Like once we had our house and we were talking about kids. I can't remember
Are
what.
we 32 already?
We're 32.
We're 32 now,
Yeah.
right.
At around 30 or a little after our 30th birthday, I think.
Yeah,
somewhere there.
yeah.
I remember we were walking to go get groceries or something, and then we were just talking about kids, and I said, yeah, around 32, and he's like, what? Like, we're 30 now.
Yeah, it means we gotta start making one in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but then.
yeah, but then, like, pretty much a couple of months after that, she was like, we're pregnant. And almost, like, when you told me, I was like, what?
The same year
What?
that we had that discussion.
Yeah, within a few months, I think, of having the discussion. So, not only are we going to start making our first baby by the time you're 32, we're actually going to have our second baby before we finish 32. So things just got accelerated a bit.
Efficient.
Yeah, and in fact, when we had Judah, we were like, at least I thought this was decided, but talking to you, you said it was kind of a thought, it wasn't decided, but I thought, like, okay, after having Judah, Nisha wanted to wait about a year and a half. In my head, I'm like, the shop is open, let's make another one right now.
Yes.
But Nisha was like, give my body some time to heal,
Yeah,
to rest.
Google is your friend, right?
Google
so I
says
Googled
1.5
and I
years.
said, what's the good time frame to have the second one? And most of Google said 1.5 years, about 18 months before trying for a second baby so that your body can heal.
But yeah, that didn't happen. Before Judah's first birthday, probably by the time he was about 9 months. 10 months? 9 months, 10 months. Yeah, we were pregnant with Isabel. I keep saying we, but technically she's doing all the work, so I just like to take some credit. We're pregnant!
Oh no, I am pregnant. You're
Pregante. Yes. Now we're having number 2, and that's where we are in life right now. But I think there's so much of stuff that we'd like to share with people who are going through a similar journey.
Yeah.
Whether you're like, I think that video about marriage, if you're going to be having a wedding, that video about, here's some of the things we talked about, like, right now with COVID-19, I'm working from home, you're stay at home, Judah's at home. What's that life like? Because it is a very interesting dynamic and how we manage that. Listen, we've made tons of mistakes, we've had lots of tough moments.
We're still making mistakes, I'm sure.
Yeah, but honestly, we've had more love and joy in our life, and it's something we've prayed for than ever before last year. And so far, this first month of this year has been amazing. I'm very blessed. I love you. Thank you, God, for blessing me with a beautiful, smart, funny wife. And
That's
and
an
amazing
yes point.
babies. so we're very. But hey, we're stopping at 2 babies.
That's the plan.
Yep. And and so that's kind of where we are now. But I think we want to share this journey, things we've learned along the way, through the mistakes we've made, through the arguments we've had. And through finding balance and finding shared values, finding systems that work for us when we have different styles. Like finances. We have 2 very different styles with finances, or at least we did. I think we're more aligned now.
Yeah.
But when we started, we came from 2 different places, and to put in systems to help us, kind of manage that without it being a cause of a rift between us. Was useful. So we want to share all of these things with you guys. So we hope that you subscribe, join us for this journey. And there's a lot of exciting things in our future, which maybe we'll talk about as well, like places we're gonna go, things we're gonna do. Very exciting stuff, and we'll share that with you along the way. So subscribe, please comment, and maybe you just ask us some of the things you'd like us to talk about. We'd love some input from you. And like the video because it helps us get to more people. And if you don't like it, hit the dislike button twice. Just to show you really don't like it. And God bless you guys. God is good to us. God loves you. Have a good one.